What's up, guys? Welcome to the You versus You podcast. We got episode 3 of 10-minute talks. Also, Thick Ass Thursday. We could drop this on a Thursday. You think it'd be out by Thursday?
You think it'd be a good idea to drop them on Thursdays?
Yeah. I mean, since we're adding like these new segments, and we could, and I said Thick Ass Thursday already, so we're kind of
so just Thick Ass Thursdays, and we're gonna stop swearing.
Dude, we can't, bro. All right. So what are we talking about today, Luke? What's today about?
Today we are talking about networking. More specifically, the
not really
you already
networking.
have, though, and how hanging out with some of these people that are within your network already is probably wasting time. No matter how good it feels in the moment, no matter how much fun you have, if these people aren't on the same path as you and you guys aren't both constantly just going up, baby, then you shouldn't. In all honesty, you probably shouldn't be hanging out with these people. You probably heard the quote, you're the average of the 5 people you hang out with. You hang out with 5 millionaires, you're going to be the 6th. You hang out with 5 drug addicts, you're going to be the 6th. And I'm a firm believer in that. Are you, Bailey?
Should I go in on them?
Should you go in on them?
I don't really have too much to say on this one. I
got a good amount to say.
I just have two things. Two things that I pay attention to when I'm with people. Number one, that you should always keep in mind. This is for the person that hasn't maybe took some time to think into this. Think about what I'm about to say and remember this every single time you're with somebody outside of your house. Number one, I'm assuming you have goals because you wouldn't if you weren't listening to this podcast. Number one, what are your goals, right? What are your long-term goals? What do you feel like your purpose is? Okay? I'm assuming that they're big. If they're not, again, you probably wouldn't be listening to this podcast. Number two, how do you feel around the people you hang out with? Let me tell you why I'm explaining this. After I go home from filming with Lucas, or whether we talk about business or we exchange ideas, I don't feel like I wasted time. I feel like I took another swing at the tree today with my axe. But when I get invited to hang out with my friends from high school, my friends from even before that, sometimes even my family members, when I go home, I feel like I let myself down. You need to take into account how you feel after you hang around people, and not only what your goals are, but what are their goals. If you are hanging around people that don't have the same goals as you, and they sure heck act like, well, I already said it. Yeah. And they sure as heck act like it.
I'm thinking hell is a bad word. I think you say that one.
Sure as yeah. I thought I said ass, but I said as.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going in on them. I can't focus on vocabulary, baby.
Just go in, G.
After you hang out with these people that sure as hell don't have the same vision as you, don't have the same size of goals, of ambition, and you don't feel negative about the way you just spent your time, you either really don't believe that you're truly capable of achieving that. So in the back of your mind, it doesn't really matter to you how you spent your time, because you know you're not really going to get there. You're not really going to take that first step to even start working at it anyway. So these are your people. Number two, you probably have just, trained your mind to be used to these kinds of people. To number one is going to be true as well. You've trained your mind to believe that you fit in with these people, and you probably think that you can be both, that you can live on both sides, when that's just not the way it is. There's a reason why all of your friends act that way. There's a reason why none of them can relate to you when you start talking about the work part of what you do. Because when you talk to your friends and you're saying, hey, start investing in real estate, we can make all this money, or start trading stocks, we can make all this money. Yeah, I want to make money. Who doesn't want to make money? Tell me how to do it. Oh, okay. Well, first you need to read this book, and then tomorrow we're going to get started on the phones. Or first you need to read this book, or first you need to put up this amount of money, and you need to do this, and you have to lose this much money before you could do this. That's when the interest stops for most of the people. If you're around people where their interest stops when the work starts, you're going to be the same exact person. When I'm finished hanging out with those kinds of people, I feel like dirty inside. I feel like I just wasted my time. And not only that, I feel like I compromised my own energy. So if you don't feel that way, you either need to think, is this truly what you want? And if so, how are you going to break out of this circle? How are you going to recreate this habit around getting around better people so that you intuitively know what decisions are the right decisions? Because if you can't even realize who to spend your time with, that'll make your life more efficient, then how are you going to make bigger decisions than that?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Like how you said, when you hang out with people who lose interest when the work starts, like you could tell anybody, pitch them an idea on, yo, let's make even like something super relevant to culture today. Everyone wants to make music. If you tell people, yo, let's make music, but when it actually comes down to sitting down and writing and making beats, learning how to mix, learning how to master, learning how to even just structure your different bars to fit onto a beat, and even at little stuff like that, they lose interest, and those aren't people that you could grow with into like a business relationship. And we use business as an example because that's what we're interested in, and that's what we're assuming you're interested in. um if they bring up these ideas that they're so interested in and so passionate about, but then you ask them, oh cool, how's it going, and they go, oh, I haven't started, oh, I haven't put anything out,
Oh my God.
oh, I haven't done this, I haven't done that, then how interested are they actually in actually being an artist versus how interested in are they in the idea of being an artist? Because if they were actually interested in being an artist, you probably wouldn't see them that much unless you're actually making music with them, because they'd be so engulfed in the day-to-day of being an artist, of making those beats, trying to get studio time, working a normal job to try and get studio time, or just doing whatever they can to like get better at their craft versus hang out with you every single night, getting blackout drunk, talking about how they want to do this in the music world, how they want to create their own record label, how they want to do X, Y, or Z. And I say this because these type of people, at the end of the day, are leeches. And they're not leeches for your money, they're not leeches for your fame or whatever you have, but they're just leeches of your time. And they want you to hang out with them because you might be a good time. You might be the funny one in the group. You might be the one that has all the girls, and they're always the one that, oh, where the hoes at, or whatever the case may be. These people are leeching off your time.
That's why
and
they miss us.
time is the only thing in this world that's limited, and it's one of the only things in this world that you're never going to get back. You probably right now have some regrets. Oh, I wish I could go back to when I was 17 and start this, or I wish I go back to 18 when I could start this. But in reality, if you did go back to being 17 or 18, you're still going to be hanging out with the same people, so you're probably going to be ending up making the same decisions and wasting your time with these people. And it sucks to say, but these people might be the best friends you've ever had in your entire life. But just because they're fun to be around does not mean they're good to be in your life.
I'm going to throw one in there that is probably going to give the listeners an epiphany. These people don't just want your friends. They're your friends. Truth is, they don't just want your time. They want your validation. When you both have goals and you ask your friend, yo, let's go hang out. Let's go do this. Let's go drink, smoke, whatever, hang out with these people that are going to waste time, blah, blah, blah. And you say, yeah, then that tells them, oh, it's okay to have these goals and to not follow through with what I said I was going to do. Oh, it's okay because we're all doing it together. And then you do it again. And then you do it again. And then you do it again. And then you keep doing it until you both realize that you're like nowhere near your goals and you have no skills whatsoever that would help you in that field in the first place. And then at that point, you're like, oh, I guess it just wasn't for me. We tried. When you and I both know that not only did you not leave your all on the field, but you didn't even fucking step on. I think we cussed already, right?
Yeah.
You didn't even fucking step on. You didn't even fucking put on your cleats. You didn't even fucking break a sweat. You didn't even scratch the fucking surface of what you're capable of because you're fucking scared to. You're scared to get out of your little friend group. I know we talked about isolation on the last one, but you're scared to be without that validation and see what you're truly made of. I think that's all I gotta say.
I mean, we're already over 10 minutes, but I got something else to want to say that might come to a shocker to even to you and a lot of people watching, and it might be controversial. But
Shocker.
if we're being honest, even your closest friends, they don't want you to be successful.
100%.
And I say this because if they truly wanted you to be successful in whatever it is that you're pursuing, they would understand if you can't go out and hang out with them. They would understand that you don't want to be smoking every single night with them. They would understand that there might be months at a time where they don't see you. But guess what happens when you actually start pursuing the stuff that you're interested in, the stuff you want to be successful in, and you don't hang out with them anymore? Oh, he changed up. Oh, he don't mess with us no more. Oh, he too good for us now. Oh, he think he's so cool because he doing X, Y, and Z. Yeah. And then when you do make it to the top and they're like, oh, what's up, bro? You forgot about us. You never want to talk to us. But it's like, first of all, I told you guys what would happen if I started pursuing this. And when I did start pursuing it, all of a sudden, I'm not your guys' friend no more because I don't got the time to be smoking weed every day with you. I don't got the time to be going out to parties, getting drunk with you anymore. Like, they don't want you to be successful because they have goals of their own that they know they're not pursuing. And when they see you pursuing your goals, it makes them feel worse about themselves.
That's the validation I was talking about.
Yeah.
They don't get the validation anymore that it's okay to have goals and not pursue them because motherfucker, everybody has goals. When you talk to someone or you hear one of their songs, oh my God, you have so much potential. Or if someone's modeling and they're very naturally pretty, or if someone's wants to be in real estate and they're just such a people person, oh my God, you have so much potential. I think I have so much potential. Everybody tells me I have so much potential. My mom tells me I have so much potential. I'm cool. I don't have to do. You're not fucking special. Everybody has potential. Everybody has potential in almost every field that's fucking out there. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry to be the one to tell you, but you are not fucking special. Everybody has potential in almost everything. True, some people are naturally gifted a little more than others.
Yep.
But motherfucker, if Michael Jordan never picked up a basketball and never worked every single fucking day of his life, then do you think he would be Michael Jordan? Fuck no. It's so funny. It's so funny that there's a common trait between almost everybody who has reached greatness. They've all worked harder than you. Why? If they just had the potential, there's people taller than Michael Jordan. There's people that could jump higher than Michael Jordan. Same thing with Kobe. Same thing with business people. There's people that are more, business people are the perfect thing to bring up because there's so many different personalities that work in business. There's not just one. There's so many different skills that work in business. There's not just one. Everybody has potential. You're not special. No matter what you were born with, no matter what skill you have, you bring into the market, you are not special until you are willing to outwork the person next to you, the person that might even have the same exact skills as you. But if that person doesn't think that shit's going to get him all the way to the finish line, so he's going to get himself there himself, do the work, put in the hours and get there, you're not even going to be in the race. What was this episode about again?
Your network.
Kind
of bled into skill set a little bit, but that's a good way to wrap it up.
No, but 100%. I mean, I think that's going to be like my catchphrase now. 100%. 100%.
Bailey, 100%.
100% Bailey. That's it. It ties in. It ties in 100%. It ties in very smoothly because if you're hanging around the people that don't understand that potential isn't enough, that your mommy didn't give you the gifts that you need to achieve this big, great ambition that you have. If you're around people that feel that way or don't even have ambition because they don't think they're worth it, and you do, think about how you feel when you're done hanging out with them. Do you feel terrible? Perfect. You're already on your way. Stop hanging out with them. Focus.
No matter how much it hurts, no matter if it's in your lifelong friends since kindergarten, if they're not good in your life, cut the
umbilical cord.
Cut the umbilical cord. I don't think that's what I was trying to say, but whatever.
Cut your ties.
Cut your ties there.
Cut your dick off. Oh my bad.
Just cut your ties there before the bond gets even stronger and stronger. The longer you put it off, the harder it's going to be.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
There you go. Rip the Band-Aid off.
If you didn't listen to our last episode, which is about isolation, that you have to listen to that after this.
Not the Michael Jordan isolation. All right, you're not gonna be on the. Even though that was Kobe, but all that
you
means
have to listen to that.
LeBron. All that means is get the hell out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, just get the hell out the way.
All right, this turned into a 20-minute talk.
It turned into a 30 for 30 for Michael Jordan. All right, guys, welcome to part 2 of 30 for 30 of Michael Jordan.
This is the Last Dance
This
continue.
is the Last Dance continue.
Because I have seen it multiple times.
He hasn't seen the Last Dance. Another one he hasn't seen, guys, is I just saw it the other day. Crap, I forgot. Oh, he hasn't seen any of the Matrix movies. Anyway, if you haven't listened to our last episode about isolation, you have to listen to it. It ties into this 100%. And that is you sacrifice your friends to be with yourself so you can focus on yourself and so you can realize who you actually are. And only then can you realize what you actually want. And only then can you start using that time by yourself to actually get to where you actually want to be. There, you're welcome. Other than that, what I was saying, after you hang out with your friends, you're either going to feel great or you're going to feel like you're missing out on something. If you feel like you're missing out on something, great. That means that you have an okay intuition. You realize that you're wasting your time. Don't take it for granted. God's telling you, hey, you probably shouldn't be doing this. And if you stop doing this, then, hey, there might be something for you on the other side. The only way for you to find out is if you see if you have what it takes or make yourself have what it takes. The other side of that is if you hang out with them and you don't feel bad at all, then you're probably that friend that we're talking about. And the only way for you to get over that is to do the same process. Go back to the last episode about isolation. Listen to it. It's the only way. Isolation is a gift. Everything else is a test of your endurance. And also a little side note before we end. John Danes actually told me this.
What? Not David Meltzer?
I asked him, because John Danes, I always see him, he's out with friends sometimes and he has a girl. I asked him how he manages his time. And he said that, I didn't tell you because it already applies to us 100%. He said, all I did was I implemented my friends and business together. So I get to do both.
But some of your friends aren't going to be interested in business. You don't want to just implement your friends into your business because they're your friends. They might mess up your entire business.
1,000%. So what do? You have two options. Sacrifice the life that you want, the life that you believe that you were born to achieve. Sacrifice that so you could hang out with your friends. Or sacrifice that life
With your friends.
Sacrifice that life of average to achieve something that not many people even scratch the surface of, called greatness. And it almost sounds negative to say, but it is the process for everything great. I mean, if you look at, and this episode is like the brother to our last episode on isolation. You have everything you need yourself. That's why you have everything you think you need. It's all already in you. That's why you need to isolate yourself. I mean, let's look at even movies. I love movies because they tell great stories, and I love storytelling. In Iron Man, I think in Iron Man 2 or 3 or whatever, Tony Stark is being like super arrogant. And it's not until he gets like stripped of his suit to when he realizes the suit doesn't make me Iron Man. Being motherfucking Tony Stark makes me Iron Man.
And then he tells Tom Holland in Spider-Man, he goes, I'm nothing without this suit. And he goes, 100%. If you're nothing without this suit, then you shouldn't have it or you shouldn't wear it.
Exactly. 100%. In Kung Fu Panda, this is a perfect analogy. We're talking about what's the secret in the last episode. In Kung Fu Panda, they're in the first movie. They're all going for that golden scroll. Have you seen the movie?
Yeah.
Thank God. They're all going for the golden scroll because the scroll has the secret to immortality, I think, or being the most powerful fighter, something like along the lines of that. And so Poe finally gets to the scroll. He's hoping that it has a secret in there so he could become more powerful to face Tai Lung, the enemy, the villain of the movie. And he opens the scroll, and it's nothing but a reflection of himself. That same principle is applied to every great story told about someone who has set out with nothing to achieve everything. It's all already in you. You have everything you need. Everything else is a test of your endurance. And if you are putting yourself in that test, if you are purposely just straining yourself with people who are bringing you down just because they want that validation, then like you said, they're literally using you as a leech, and you at the end of your life, you're going to look back and you are going to realize that you made a trade that you did not want to make. And there's no way to go back. And that is the ultimate sacrifice, in my opinion. That is something I am not willing to sacrifice in my life. Wow, you seen the movie? You have anything to add?
No, that was actually a good way to wrap up our double 10-minute talks. 20-minute talks.
Wrap up. Gotta wrap it up.
All right, let's wrap it up. Let's roll it up. Do you want to do the intro or outro, or should I?
I guess. Oh, dude, we haven't done the outro for like 2.
I know.
How many did we film today? 2?
Just 2. But
it doesn't matter.
The intro. So do you want to do the outro?
Yeah. Well,
I think that's good. I think if you do the intros on the full episodes and I do the intros on this one, that's a good way to switch off. And then you do the outros on this one. I'll do the outros on the other one.
I don't see why not. So this one.
No.
So this one probably wouldn't be 10-minute talks.
Yeah, this might just be a full episode.
It was pretty fire. So I wouldn't want to bring a full episode. Thanks for lifting, guys. My name's Bailey.
Do you want to kind of expand on the network park for a little bit more and ways to go about growing your network with people that you want in it? Because I feel like that's something you could talk about a lot on. Or do you want that to be a different episode? Should we just leave them a little cliffhanger after I just said that?
Or how about we keep talking and then we split them? What do you think?
Either one. Like, I feel like this could, if we add on to that, like the title could be something like, fuck your network now, grow a different one.
That's actually a great title. All right, let's do it. Well, I mean, you know what? I actually, I didn't ask you this because I thought we were in the 10-minute constraints. But now that we're not, what I wanted to ask you was, so Lucas went from being a real estate agent to now being a day trader. And he's in this group chat that he talks to frequently. And they're all levels ahead of him.
Way, some guy.
Yeah, he sucks, guys. I'm just kidding.
I'm ass. Literally, compared to this dude, I'm not going to give out any personal information, but this guy just put a cash payment for a McLaren.
Okay,
full cash.
Let me say something. So I've known Lucas for a while. I've actually noticed that he's been more productive and that he wants to go out and do like the shit that doesn't matter less now since he started on this. Now, it could be a mix of different things. It could be a mix of he's doing more things that he's more passionate about. He's doing less things that he felt negative about, like, for example, cold calling, which I knew he would like strain himself to do. But he's also
take Quaaludes just a cold call.
He's also a part of he's also a part of this group chat with a bunch of guys levels ahead of him. And I mean, I even think it's super dope. And I'm not a part of the group chat, so I'm about to give it to you anyway. And so I'm wondering if you think there's a correlation between those things I just mentioned for you, because that's what I see. And you know, how has that effect been on you? You literally went from not being in that room, in that circle of those people levels ahead of you in that subject, to automatically boom. I mean, I'm sure that's super inspirational, motivational, especially since you're talking about the same subject. It probably feels like it's right in front of you because you're hanging around people that are showing you, you know, the light instead of people that are showing you the dark.
Yeah. And I guess I could kind of say this real quick, how I even got into the group chat, because I'm in multiple group chats now from this stock thing. But the first one that I got into was because I put my own money up and I purchased a course, and it came with the group chat. And I was active in that group chat because I genuinely wanted to learn, and I feel like this is something I'm genuinely passionate about. And but he doesn't care about my story. He's on his phone.
Bro, my dad texted me.
And so I was active in this group chat, right? And I was making calls on stocks I focus on small cap stocks, so stocks with a lot of volatility. and they saw that I
Titties
was
go on.
with a lot of baller titties, and they saw that I was not only active in there, but I was making some accurate calls. So I got invited to 2 different group chats because they knew that I was new because I made it be known that I'm new and I'm still learning, but they saw that I was serious and that I had potential because they chose me somehow out of a big group with like 3,000 people, and one of the groups has like 30 and the other one has like 40 people. So out of 3,000 people that were in that group chat, they saw me being active and they saw me putting in effort to actually learn this skill and learn this craft, and they said, let's bring this kid into the group chat because they already had it going, right? But now this being put into this group chat has expanded my network, although it may be virtually. These are people that, I mean, we talk about meeting up all the time, but we can't right now because of coronavirus, the illness.
Oh, elections are over. That's gonna go away now.
Yeah, probably. Whoa, controversial statement, G. But this opened up, like, just buying a course that costs $250, which isn't that much money in the grand scheme of things, put me into a position where I'm conversating.
You're on Congress?
I'm on Congress now.
Bro, that's crazy. You didn't
Like,
tell me
gee.
that. Congrats.
What is it though? Conversating?
You're the president of the United States.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Joe Biden.
Conversing?
Conversing on a day-to-day basis with literal millionaires, people that are pulling in hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, people that are pulling in 100K a day, people that have retired their parents already, who have their own offices in whatever state they're in, who are putting cash payments for a McLaren
In a day.
Okay, so the guy put that down on the McLaren
What a guy.
because he made enough in a single day to be able to put that down payment down. And these are people that I have literal direct access to. We follow each other on Instagram. We talk on a day-to-day basis. My group chat's closed, but they're probably talking in it right now. And this isn't something that I would have been able to achieve if I didn't sacrifice some nights of going out. I haven't even been doing this for a long time, and there hasn't been a plethora of opportunities for me to go out and party with my friends. But even the small ones, the very few ones that I did get, I declined. Honestly, because I really wasn't that interested in going. Like when you wanted me to go out on Halloween, I really wasn't that interested in going. That's why it was so easy for me to say no.
That's so funny. So I'll tell
And
them
I
what
know-
we already talked about.
Yeah, and I know you ended up saying that you weren't that interested in going anyways. But
Yeah.
I think
Sorry, guys. It's just a tornado happening outside, but it's all good.
because we're on
Continue.
the top floor, so the wind's going crazy.
Yeah.
I
think there's a dragon flying
genuinely
over
think
us.
the last time I went out to a party or something
Mine?
like that was yours.
Same.
But even before that, I think it might have been October of last year.
Mhm.
And I remember, no offense, but even being at your party, I was like, I feel like I could be doing something more productive than this.
I did too. I remember we talked. So, the Halloween that passed. You saying my party's a whack, bitch?
Yeah, hold on. I just wanted to end that by saying that I probably wouldn't have been put into that group chat if I would have skipped, because they noticed me like on a Friday night when a lot of people weren't active in that group chat.
They noticed that you're serious.
They noticed that I was serious, and we talk about in our group chat, like literally it's not like a thing that we do, but on Friday nights we all check in, kind of.
I was gonna say that they have video chats Friday nights.
Yeah, we do it like every night, but Friday nights is like where people get real serious because that's when people aren't partying. You know what I mean? And we do like other stuff too. Like the other day, we all got on Among Us and played for a little bit, and then we all got bored and we're like, I'm gonna go back to studying the charts. But these guys noticed my effort and my dedication to what I'm doing, that they decided to take a chance on someone who's new to a game that they have made millions of dollars in.
Yeah,
That's not something that happens pretty
they
often.
probably
I'm pretty sure.
you've probably put yourself so much out there to them that they see a part of themselves in you when they were in that stage.
Yeah.
And that's something that I've experienced that I'll talk about right now. But about the Halloween thing and about the time before that when I threw Little Son, I actually felt the same way. And so after that, remember after the day we threw that Summon, we had like a little get together with the guys. I had a little cigar thing going on. Remember what I said? I said, I feel way better like doing this, exchanging ideas with some other with some high value men and just some people that I had a close relationship with that still provide value to me at that time did. I felt better then than I did the night before. And again, it's because what we just talked about. And this was like a year ago, actually a whole year ago now. Um, right?
From your party? No, wasn't that
Oh no,
over the
like half.
summer?
Like yeah, like
That was
half.
in like June, no?
Um,
Dude, that was
no,
a
it was
long.
right after COVID. It was right when. Oh yeah, you know it was
No,
around the
because
summer.
I had my tattoo, so
Yeah,
I got my
it
tattoo
was
in
around.
June.
Yeah. Um.
I remember because I was just straight blasted in the pictures.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's. I mean, the reason there's a specific reason why I did that. Don't say it. But basically that reason is I personally don't do that often. So I had a opportunity to do that, and then so I did it. But after doing that, after spending some time with, some old friends, etc., and more people, plus more people that brought more people, um, um, the day after that is when I hung out with my smaller, closer group, and then I realized the lesson I brought up earlier about validation. Are you going out so you can feel the validity that you are important, or that you're good looking, or that you're a fun time, or that you're hot in the market, whatever? Or are you going out to genuinely feel a connection, to genuinely rekindle a connection, or to genuinely get value provided back to you, whether it's with relationships, or whether it's even a business event, or whether it's meeting with somebody else in your industry. So to tie that into what you were saying and what I've been through, similar to your story, is I think I was not lucky, but I am glad I realized this. I kind of always had this realization because I never had a problem with putting myself out there, even though I did usually feel nervous. Um, I always tried my best to just be that guy, to go above and beyond and ask those questions that people would probably say no to.
Should I close this window?
Nah, it's fine.
Yeah, it's
There's just a tornado
outside.
happening outside, guys.
We're in the Midwest in this episode.
When I was starting to learn sales, I would DM Grant Cardone like every day if he could mentor me. Now I wouldn't want to learn from him, but and I would DM Jeffrey Gitomer, I would DM Sam Ovens, I would DM people that I looked up to, until eventually I actually did find a mentor. That
Tristan?
was Tristan. But so I was always putting myself out there so I could be around someone who can level me up. And even beyond finding a mentor, talking about a circle, I would always look for the meetups to go to. I would go to meetups even though I was the youngest. I was an 18-year-old that worked for a digital marketing company that would do meetups with business owners for high-level businesses and ask them if they knew any restaurants that would be open to marketing services. Excuse me. There's a lesson, and there is also a common trend with people in circles that help them rather than hinder them. They all went through that phase where they have to put themselves out there in order to belong in that circle. Because at first, you're going to go in that circle and you're going to feel uncomfortable. If you do it enough times, you're going to feel like you belong there. If you do it enough times, you're going to be around circles that are different from that don't provide you the same value. And then, like what we were both saying, being in those other situations, we feel like we don't belong there. And that's super important to realize. Go ahead.
Real quick, just whenever, like, I'm an outgoing person, like, by nature. That's just how I've always been. I've always been the type of person that could go out and talk to anybody and everybody. But for some reason, every time I go to a party, I feel so out of place that I don't go up to anybody and, like, really talk to anybody. And I'm pretty sure you've noticed that before.
Yeah.
Unless it's, like, a party where it's, like, all friends. But, like, if I'm at a party, I know that, like, I'm wasting time there. And more likely than not, the people that are there aren't going to bring much value to my life, that I don't even want to, like, go out and talk to people.
100%. So I think that's it. It's the people that provide value to my life that I could look back and realize that I did feel better hanging out with them when I'm in a situation where I'm 100% not looking for any personal validation. You need to rethink, how do you feel? What are you really there for when you're out with your circle? How often are you out with them? If it's more than once a month, then really, really ponder on that answer. Um, I remember being the youngest, actually the last event I went to before the virus shut everything down was in West Hollywood, and I was actually the youngest person there. It was a whole group of real estate investors at the W Hotel, and I talked to some guys that were like 70 years old that were killing it in real estate. And once I told them my age, they were like, "No way!" And they would just share their stories about how when they were my age, they were not even close. Their minds were completely somewhere different, and they were just mind boggled by someone that was already focusing on those kinds of things that they're focusing on at 70 years old. Um, by the way, a networking hack that Lucas already brought up. Those people love to help people that they see a part of themselves in. So, for example, it's always been really easy for me to get people's phone numbers, not only by creating that genuine connection with them, but when they see that I'm serious about what I'm doing, just like how your circle did, they are more than happy to help me. They are more than happy to be there because they know I'm going to provide value back to them because I'm in the game. And especially if it's just a hack to, in my opinion, to be this serious about it, to actually not only be serious. Okay, let me throw something in there. Not to be serious about it on Instagram and just go to those events so you could post about it, go to all the business events and not do any work. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about having skin in the game. It's a hack to have skin in the game at such a young age and be so hungry for learning that you put yourself out there. People that are older than you and more successful than you that see themselves inside of you will be excited to help you and would probably be the ones most eager to help you because they're in a point where they don't really have to do this. They don't have to have the same hustle that you do. And the fact that you do and you're asking them, they're more than happy to help you. For example, when we met with Mac, we met with the real estate investor and we were at the gym and we're like, oh, we should ask him if he would meet with us. And then he replied, he's like, yeah, sure. When do you want to meet? And we're like, oh,
You're like, what? Or the opposite of that, some bad networking experience when we went to Mimi's Cafe or what was it? With the real estate investment group.
Oh,
which was basically
that wasn't terrible.
Even the MLM one.
Okay, but we still learn lessons.
Yeah, we learned
by putting ourselves out there.
Okay, we learned other stuff too.
Yeah, you learn lessons every time you put yourself out there. It's just, yeah, I don't want to talk about that on this because he's bringing up a meetup group for a real estate investor. This real estate investor was pitching his educational services. And typically that's what meetup groups are for if they're free.
Yeah.
However,
like a course or whatever.
And not a lot of investors went to that one. However, I would still go to those right now because especially in real estate and every business, it's important to network with other people that are killing it in your game.
Yeah.
That's how you elevate your own.
Mm-hmm.
So every time you go out and every time you add another contact, that's a success. That's a win. That meetup was very long for the value that we got. This guy was like pitching us for like hours.
Should we tell him the dinner story?
Oh my god. I think we were like leaving the meetup after hours, and then someone told us that the investor of the guy that threw the whole event said that he would pay for like food, and so we're like, oh crap. So we ordered something, and then they like asked us to pay, and I was like, oh no, isn't it like
included or whatever?
Included in since he brought all these people here. And then they were like, I don't know. And then they asked the guy if he would pay. And then the guy said no. And then after that, we told him, no, we don't want it then. And then
we went to like Chick-fil-A or something.
And so after that, we're like, yeah, we're not going to work with this guy.
Yeah. I don't know. That was just it was cool. Like some of the people that we did meet were pretty cool. But like the whole experience was kind of weird.
It was weird, but I don't think that's not what you should take away from this. What you should take
Yeah.
away from this is we still put ourselves out there that day, and even though we went through that crap, we still walked out with some valuable contacts, with some valuable people to reach out to if we needed their help. What else would you say about building your network?
Um, I think aside from going to like not marketing meetups, networking meetups, I feel a way that you could just grow your network with people who you want to be around is to do like what we're doing. You know what I mean? Because if you go
Making
out to
content.
networking, yeah, making content. The only way, if you're just going to networking places or in your neighborhood, in your area, then you're only going to meet people in your area. But if you put yourself out on the internet, and even if you do like what we're doing, we constantly say that we're in the beginning stages of our journey and we are only talking about stuff that we feel we could talk about. Like, we're not going to go out and teach you how to build a 7-figure business because neither of us have done that. We could just give you little tidbits on stuff that we have learned. Like, people are going to hit you up and be like, yo, I like what you're doing. Like, we should collab one day or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, to relate it to like a social media world, like people doing collabs all the time on social media in terms of like YouTube, Instagram, whatever. TikTokers doing collabs to like help each other grow in their specific niche, which is like weird TikTok dances. The same thing could happen putting out like business content or self-development content, such as we're doing right now.
That's another hack. I mean, staying focused on what you're doing and showing people what you're doing, you're automatically going to start attracting the people in your life that are going to be of value to you.
Yeah.
So, for example, us putting out content, we're talking to some other friends more that are also putting out content.
Mm-hmm.
And as we build this, as we start building this community, that's only going to increase.
And even like right now, obviously a lot of the stuff that we put out is only reaching people that we know. But the main people that hit us up and say, yo, like I actually learned something from what you put out are people, yeah, that we know, but that we really didn't talk to that much, you know?
And it's funny, the people that we're closest with, well, actually, the people that I'm closest with, that you're also close to with, they're actually being really supportive. But a lot of the people that I'm personally pretty close with, I'm not getting that much support from them.
Same.
I'm getting more support from, I like this, and I'll tell you why. I'm getting, my stomach cramps just went away. I'm getting more support from people that I wasn't so buddy with, but we were acquainted. We would say hi when we saw each other.
Yeah. Like we've said before, we were the people who talked to everybody.
Those
so
are the people
we
that are
have a
giving
huge-
us. Those are the people that are giving us great feedback.
Yeah.
And what I love about that is that it's genuine. They're not doing it because we're
don't
so.
care. Yeah.
They're not doing it because we're so close. No, it's genuine. So, I mean, I don't want to say, tell your best friend to just fuck off, but I mean, what do you want? I mean, I would go back to the Batman analogy, and I love it because I'm Batman. At the end of Bruce Wayne's life,
Had like a hair on my mic.
Bruce Wayne's life could have went two ways. Bruce Wayne could have either sacrificed the life as Batman, lived the American dream, had a wife and kids, white picket fence, a family, neighbors, blah, blah, blah. And he could have died with loved ones, a lot of loved ones' lungs. He would have died with a lot of loved ones around him. And at his deathbed, he would, both Bruce Waynes, by the way, that I'm about to explain, are going to have regrets. This Bruce Wayne that lived his life with his loved ones, however, knew in the back of his mind that he had the potential to change his city, fulfill his purpose, to save other kids from growing up without their parents because of crime, like he had to do.
Damn, I wish you would have done that in Pico.
Because that was a good one. F was selfish, huh? We need him in LA.
F was selfish.
That would be a major heartbreaking regret. Dying, realizing that he sacrificed lives, almost an entire city, because he wanted, not even because or maybe because he was afraid to chase that and to miss out on the other things that are easy, the other things that are sweet, the other things that are comfortable, like living a nice family life, the average American dream. On the other side of that, the Bruce Wayne that becomes Batman and that dedicates his whole life to saving lives and protecting the city, you can bet your double cheeked up cheeks that he's going to regret that as well, and that he's going to regret not raising a family that would be by him, that would be by his side as he grows older and withers away. However, when that moment comes before he leaves this world, which is never because he's Batman, when that moment comes, he will regret not having all those loved ones around him because of the way he spent his life. However, he is going to have that immaculate satisfaction that he dedicated his life to something more than him, that he created a legacy, that after he is gone, he has individually, forcefully made his city a better place because of him. Lives are affected. The world is better off after he was gone. And he was willing to sacrifice everything for that because he stood for something. That's what you need to ask yourself. No one will judge you for either one. Obviously, one is chosen more than the other. The easier one is chosen more than the hard one. But know that usually
I wanted to say something
the
real quick.
hardest...
I want to say something because you said the easy, like there's always one that's easy to sacrifice and one that's hard to sacrifice. But I feel like if you choose the easy way out right now, you're going to look back when you're on your deathbed and you're going to be like, man, this life that I could have had,
Yeah.
like it's not
legacy
like
I
right
could
now
have
the
had.
decision's easy to make. But when you're looking back on your deathbed, it's going to be one of like the hardest, like toughest realizations that you sacrificed living the life that you want just so you could.
Yeah, I said that
drunk.
in the beginning. I mean, that's what I said. I personally believe that's the real sacrifice.
Yeah.
And that's one I'm not willing to make. That I think almost everybody's, like I said, almost everybody is going to have regrets on their deathbed. But the big thing is, what did you do? Did you stand for something? Did you try your best no matter what? And 100% what you said. If you make decisions based on what's easy in your life, by the time you get to that finish line, you're going to realize that the time that you thought you weren't sacrificing, that you were playing it safe, you were doing the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
You were doing the opposite. You played it as dangerous as it gets. You played around with the one thing that nobody can get back. You fucked around with your time. You fucked around with your tiempo.
I wanted to pose a question for you guys right now. Something to be a little
Pose.
interactive. I don't know if this is where we're
Pose.
gonna end it. We might.
Pose.
I said post.
Oh.
We might continue on after this. This might be the end, but I wanted to give you guys this question. No matter what road you go down in life, you're gonna have to make a sacrifice. So, do you want to sacrifice the good times in order to live the life that you want, or are you gonna be the person that sacrifices the good times? I mean, the type of person that sacrifices the life that you want in pursuit of the good times. So are you going to break out of your circle right now that only goes after the good times? Or are you going to sacrifice leaving that circle and actually pursuing the life that you want?
I think that's beautiful.
And I want you guys to leave it in the comments, your answer. Or if you're listening to this on Spotify or somewhere else where there's not like a comment section, hit us up on Instagram, DM us. And just let us know, what person are you going to be? You going to live for the good times? Or are you going to live for your purpose?
I would throw something in there.
And I'll catch it or what?
I mean, so I don't want to touch on, this is a whole nother subject where passion and purpose, like some people say your passion is your purpose and like do what you love, and other people say the opposite, do what you're good at, and then what you love is a hobby. I think I'm in the middle. Like, do something that you could at least have some enjoyment for, and then grow to love it. Grow to love the success of that. But we kind of touched on this, and it kind of, if you look at it in a certain angle, it kind of contradicts what you said. Me and you don't look at what the average man our age goes out and does on Friday nights. Me and you don't look at that as fun.
I've never looked at it as fun.
So that's something to think about too. I mean, that I think that I guess that's what I would leave my question for you is what do you, and you know what? I think that's 100% what, when I asked the two questions I asked in the beginning of this episode, which was what do you think is your why, and how do you feel after you hang out with your circle? Do you feel good or do you feel like you missed out on something? And
It's a good question too.
when we do that, when we hang out with those people we shouldn't be hanging out with, we feel like we missed out on something. That's why, like you said, we've only this past year we've probably done that like twice.
Oh, okay. So I feel like I know what the question could be then. How do you feel after you hang out with your closest friends, if it's good or bad? And two, what are you gonna do to get out of that?
What are you willing to
What do
sacrifice
Yeah.
to
So are
get
you gonna
out of that?
sacrifice that group of friends that's your best friends that you've been lifelong friends you've spent every single day with for the past 5 years of your life? Are you gonna sacrifice that in order to live the life that you want, or are you gonna sacrifice the life that you want to stay in the good times with the people that have been this influence in your life for the past 5 years?
Yeah, and I think I would substitute the word good because again, when we do this feels good. When we
But I
go,
mean,
I know. Let me throw in this word.
no, no,
When
no.
when we go and mess around, like when we're not supposed to do, which we're probably sounds like we do it a lot. We do it like once a year.
Yeah,
When we do that, that's not good. So
Yeah.
I would substitute the word good
yeah,
with comfortable.
yeah,
Because it's comfortable to just be like, oh, we got invited. Let's just go out and blah, blah, blah. Are you willing to make the decisions to be uncomfortable, to
Yeah.
do what nobody else is doing, especially especially in your early 20s? Are you willing to do that for the life that you want? I'm gonna quote someone again. It's like my thing now, I guess. Bradley's dope. On dropping bombs. He says, it's funny. The people in life that chase being comfortable are the ones that end up the least comfortable in the end. And the people that chase being uncomfortable are the people that have the life of most comfort,
Mm-hmm.
at least on the outside. Someone looking at someone that hasn't experienced all of that struggle would look at someone that maybe has the money, has the looks, has the status, and say that they're lucky and, oh, they don't deserve all this money. They should pay for all of us, blah, 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 blah. They'll probably look at them and think that because they have no freaking idea the struggle that this person goes through on the day to day and the immense struggle that that person had to go through in order to get there. And if you disagree, I hope you are in that fucking spot so you can fucking relate and have an opinion for yourself. Because if you haven't gone down that road and you haven't walked in those shoes, shut the fuck up. Unless it's something positive.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just saying good times in relation to
Being
our high value
comfortable.
men. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
being
like
easy.
our high value man episode where the low value man chases the good times, the high value man goes on the road of discomfort.
Oh, yeah. Another word
That's
for
why I was
saying
using
another
good
word of
times.
saying good would be instant gratification,
Yeah.
right? So when you're doing something that's comfortable, like going out with your friends or blah blah blah, drinking all this other stuff,
Those are easy fixes.
those are
of dopamine.
easy fixes of dopamine, the instant gratification compared to staying in, maybe working out, maybe eating right, maybe planning for the next week, the next month, the next quarter, the next business plan. That you're not going to get gratification for some time. However, that gratification is going to be not only more genuine, but it's going to taste so much sweeter.
Facts.
Like Laffy Taffy.
What do you think? Any final thoughts? So what's the
I think,
question again that we want them to answer? Just like in real simple terms. So we don't. go
well,
on a
you
tangent
added
after.
one, so I'll
Just
you added
do-
one to my two.
Yeah. go ahead.
So I guess the main one is after you listen to this, you're gonna ponder on your circle, things that you do that waste your time. Let us know in the comments, what are those things that when you're done, you feel like you wasted time? What are those things that you're filling your time with that give you that shot of dopamine or that instant gratification that are not pushing you, that make you comfortable now, but when it's time to go to bed and it's time to rethink about how you spent your day, you are uncomfortable. What are those things for you guys? So, for me personally, it's social media. I've been doing great staying off of being more productive with my time. For me, it used to be social media. Um, I think that was like the biggest one. Maybe my diet, it used to be. But other than that, I think that's what would be on my list. It would probably be social media. Other than that, I've been focused. What about you? What do you think
Mine,
your list would
head
be?
of my list, without a doubt, would be video games. That was something that, like, my screen time on my phone has never really been that high because I was always on my computer, on my Xbox playing video games. So I already hadn't used social media too much. I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could tell by like my feeds. I've never been too much of a social media person, but video games are always that thing that one I was naturally good at. So it was easy to get that shots of dopamine because I would be doing good in all the games that I do and
Mm-hmm.
that I play. But it just came down to a realization that I have no interest in being a professional video game player. I have no interest in even like streaming video games on Twitch, even though I try to like convince myself that's what I wanted to do. I have no interest in making video game YouTube content, video game content on any social media platform. So I just had to realize that since that has nothing with what I want to do in the future, all that is an instant shot of dopamine and me taking the easy way out to get that shot of dopamine. And two, it was a straight up time waster. Because no matter how good I got at those games, I had no interest in being professional at them.
Yeah, I think that was perfect to share because I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that, especially with video games, but also with
Yeah.
almost anything else. I think that'd be oh wow, perfect timing. Well, guys, you could find me on Instagram. I am Bailey Contreras. TikTok, same thing. On YouTube, you could find me at Bailey Contreras. You could also find this podcast on YouTube, which you're probably watching it on the U versus U podcast. It's also on Spotify and wherever the fuck else you listen to the shit. Um, I think that's all my digits. Y'all
I'm gonna
got
go
my
control
digits
this
now.
tornado real quick.
Yeah, we're gonna go get this
But
tornado
before I
under
do that,
control.
feel free to follow me on all of my social medias. All of my social medias are at Lucas Wavy.